Hi, I'm Shane Burns from north of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, USA. I'll recount my NDE. I took a baseball bat to head on a gravel road at a residence in 2013. After being shot in the head, I stood straight up. I was stunned, so I stepped back and lifted my hand to feel what hit my head, feeling blood rushing out. I touched my brain. I knew I was in trouble very quickly because of where I was. Any medical facility was miles away. I stand up and hurry to my car to get in. I start the car, drive towards the road, and hit a bank. My automobile is trapped. It saved my life, so thank God. Maybe I passed out in the middle of the road. I was lucky to seat. I got stuck in the garden. I get out of the car and sit on the lawn, accepting my fate knowing my head will split open. I guess I got 37 staples in 2 places on my skull. It's like accepting my fate. I stand up and dash towards the home after getting an adrenaline surge. I don't recall this portion, but I go there and try to run to another car. I get out of that car because there are no keys. Okay, that occurred. So I get out of that vehicle and start going back to the house, and I see a vehicle pull in with sirens and lights, and I'm thinking, oh, it's an ambulance, great. So I started going towards the ambulance, and as I got closer, I realized it was a policeman, so I kind of, oh, great. Well, this isn't going to help anything. I go back to my car and open the door, falling out of awareness. Boom, I faint in the garden. Later, I wake up surrounded by 4 women in lights, and I'm like, what's going on? I didn't know where I was, but it took me a second to figure it out. They stated I told a joke when I woke up. Maybe I was happy even though I was about to bleed outright. However, they informed me that a life flight helicopter was waiting for me up the road and would carry me to UPMC Presbyterian Hospital in Pittsburgh, 60 to 70 miles away. As they carry me into the ambulance, I lose consciousness again. Next time, I wake up, the ambulance is open, and they're taking me out, and I see a helicopter 500 feet above in the field. It's probably the only spot they could put it in the woods. I notice that, and they rush me to the chopper. The chopper door opens, and I lose consciousness again while being loaded. I wake up in the chopper. The first time I wake up, I'm assessing my surroundings and can see the button, the EMT guy sitting next to me, and the pilot. Then I fall back asleep. So the next time I wake up, I'm still in the helicopter and nearly immediately on the bed, right? I wake up, get an adrenaline rush, scream, and spring up, but the EMT rushes on top of me and pins me down. I'm immobile under his control. I'm trying everything to move, but he's got me firmly held down. I lose consciousness again. It's a marvel I'm alive after losing so much blood. Second time, he defeats me. I wake up weary and can't move right. I can barely open my eyes or move my arms. I'm conscious again, and the next time I woke up, a mild vibration came over my body. It's everywhere. So I sense that, and then it intensifies, extremely swiftly to the point where it's complete, like my whole essence is vibrating, and it plateaus at this strong wavelength and returns back to the starting vibration. As soon as it hits that light frequency, it bottoms out, and my essence, people call it a soul, whatever you want to call it, my life force or spirit, is released from my body. Transfer is happening now. I'm leaving my body. My Achilles heel was the final detachment point after all. Specifically, I recall, the last of my life energy flooded my body, the detachment point. It was gradual, but I'm entirely detached when that detached point happens. It was very like a car crash. It slowed down. I remember everything so well, and then it was like a slideshow moving to the next slide in an instant. I feel out, but am still. I'm light. I have no idea I have a body. I knew nothing. Just being me transferred. My consciousness and personality were 100% intact. After being shoved out, I had a moment of okay, and it was pitch black. Black empty vacuum was all there was. I also remember being weightless. It was like accepting this is what this is now, with no fear. Okay, I was out for a few seconds before my sight started to fade. My sight became apparent then. I glance right, left, and nothing happens, just black, just existing here. People may name it the emptiness. I don't know what to label it. I just know it happened to me and I was there. So I don't want to label it. I'm out for a few seconds. My sight travels right, left, and then stillness. Then it was motionless for 8, 9, 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds, and I was aware of what was happening. I was just aware of, okay, this is like my being now. It's funny to say that, but that's the best way I can explain it since it was a realization. Then suddenly, I feel a push, like if I were to step up next to you, put my hand on your shoulder and hip, and push you sideways. It was just like that. It seemed like my spirit was over here, and someone placed a hand on my hip and shoulder, giving me a jolt. After that, my eyes opened, and I was back in the chopper. I started then, and returned after that encounter. In the chopper, I get up, tired. I shout at the EMT, "Am I going to die? Am I going to die?" and tried to jump up off the bed into the helicopter. But I was too weak. My blood loss, adrenaline, and erratic consciousness that just let me, completely fatigued. He didn't speak for a few beats. After no reaction, he exclaimed, "Well, we're here," and opened the door. Helicopter doors flung out after landing. I see 4 or 5 ants coming down the runway, and they take me, turn me, and rush me back to the ER. Then I'm surrounded by all coats and all the medical staff, nurses, doctors, and I feel 2 staple guns going this way and this way simultaneously. My skull is being stapled back together, and the pain knocks me out again. Then he cleaned my head to toe. I guess he said 2 hours later when I woke up. After they took off my clothes and covered me in blood, I knew I had survived. I remember sitting on the end of that hill and looking up at the sky and thinking, this is it, there is no way I'm surviving this. It was a miracle that they saved my life, and that experience leaves me with no doubt. Due to my personal experience, I'm 100% certain that there is an afterlife, even scientifically. It was barely 15 seconds, and I didn't see anything. But I'm convinced my awareness, who I am, transitioned to another existence when my body couldn't carry it anymore. Later, I spoke to the policeman, who looked at me like he saw a ghost with his blank expression, grew pale, and remarked, "I've never seen so much blood. It's a miracle that I'm alive, and thank God for those physicians, nurses, and medical experts. The EMS saved my life, and it gave me an eye into the future." I'm sure of that, and I don't think anyone isn't terrified of death, right? Just like this unknown, but not for me. Once this physiological body dies, I'll definitely go to another life. 2 times in my life, I experienced astral projection, or spirit leaving body. The first time I did astral projection, I saw a silver cord linking me like an umbilical cord, as described in many reports. I was lying there thinking it was a dream. The next day, I told my girlfriend, I had this weird dream that I was asleep, that I could see myself, that I was like up against the ceiling, and I could see myself lying in bed sleeping. She said, "That wasn't a dream. You were astral projecting." When I looked into it, I found other stories that said the same thing. It was much more intense second time. The second time, my girlfriend dropped me off at work and told me she was going out with her cousin. She's lying. I sense it, but I don't say anything to avoid causing trouble. Work is my job. It was something about her not being around that night. I sleep at home. This confirms astral projection as I sleep. Again, while asleep, it seems like a dream. It's like, okay, go to sleep, and you kick into a dream now. So I go to sleep and start the astral projection dream, where I'm Superman soaring above a massive college party. Not in color, red, gray, and black tones. I've been floating over this party and around for a long. It's doing itself. I have no control, right? My girlfriend is seated next to this guy at the party, kissing another guy when it stops. So when she cut, I recall her being 63 or 64 shortly after. She was 64 miles away that night, but I was there. Seriously, I was there. I was there when I slept. From here to NDE to another college, IUP, it's 64 miles from Grove City, where I was. It's probably 2 m. When she returned the next day, I asked, "Well, what'd you really do?" She responded, "Well, we went to a party in IUP." I said, "I know, I was there." She looked at me like a ghost. We split up soon after, but it was true. Those were the 2 largest astral projections. My encounter in the abyss turned death from a scary mystery into an exhilarating adventure I can't wait to do. Not that I can't wait, but I'm not worried. Actually, I feel like a pioneer or someone getting ready to board a ship to travel the world. To me, it's an amazing trip. It's a complete 180 on death in my life. That's the biggest adjustment in knowing what's coming. Not that I do, but 100% for 15 seconds, you know. It didn't change me much, though. Not a dad then. Today I have a daughter. Her age is 7, therefore that's the biggest change in my life. Being a dad makes everything else seem less important, you know. I don't have anything to say about life with that question. It may seem unusual, but it didn't change anything other than taking that terrifying fear of death. In the moment, it was like that. I wasn't thinking about time, but I can remember my eyes traveling back and forth, which was around a second or less. I think I was conscious of time. After that, it was easy to say, okay, this was a couple of seconds, this was about 7 or 8 seconds, and then this was a few seconds. The total thing was 15 seconds, and I have no difficulty saying that. You know it's true. Yes, I felt time in the abyss, but I was weightless. I was a weightless floating ball of consciousness until my eyes moved. I just felt my eyes till I was shoved. I didn't realize there was a building. My body was in the chopper, so no. Human life is finite, right? Since we're biological, I wouldn't call our lives human, especially after this event. My life is my inner life force. It transcends this body. In addition, I've experienced astral projection twice, where my essence was outside of it. I lost all my blood and am lucky to be alive. My body died for a moment. Maybe not, but I died for 15 seconds. Human existence is limited since we're bound to this biological meat suit, right? As for a lifelong soul pact, life is a gift, thus I can't imagine that. I feel that way. It's necessary, right? I don't know, simply. Somehow that doesn't make sense. Is human life limited? However, we are not human life. We are our life force, soul, and spirit, and that will pass on. I've indicated that something in the void drove me back into my biological body from that plane to this one. It's guaranteed. Who knows what that is? Perhaps it travels through planes or is a giant creator who said, "No, not yet. It ain't your time," and reached down and shoved me. Throwing thoughts out there. I felt more personal till I was shoved in. However, the energy inside the abyss pushed me in. I know I have eyes, but I can't see. That was my first. My eyes go right, left, left when I feel anything in the blank. You repeated it 2 or 3 times, and I said, "What?" I couldn't move, but I could feel my eyes shifting, so I mentioned that. Since that was my first emotion, I usually emphasize it when I narrate the narrative. I felt nothing else until I was thrust back in. Only those 2 sensations accompanied me throughout the gap. Nothing was heavy or scary. Also, no fear. It was awareness, not dread. Like pure awareness. I think it's a stretch to include the cosmos because awareness is something we can't explain yet all agree exists. Of course we live in it. That energy, a pump draws air into your body. The primary difference from what I saw when I termed it Kundalini is that. Yes, and there, I started studying it that way. Yes, wow, meditation is great. Good stilling exercises can be transcendent. Just because it's the art of doing nothing, I've seen people sitting in a room with their eyes closed. I've felt colored feelings and even closed my eyes and the whole thing turned white. Thing. It's just very centering and chilling, especially in a society where quiet is rare, right? It could be a grounding, nourishing exercise. You don't have to be. Nothing requires me to do it every day for 2. It's not. Working against the flow. Let's sit, relax, and feel a heartbeat. It's enriching. Before starting any meditations like that, I never anticipated they would give back that much. It actually helps you connect with yourself. Fantastic. You can research Kundalini. I think that's how it goes. Excellent Kundalini meditation. It emphasizes the root chakra and has an energy pump that draws air into your body. Actually, it does work. The art of doing nothing is meditation, like any other. It's not necessarily. Not it. Lotus posture and other requirements are less rigorous. It's not like absolutely nothing like it. This is more like whatever you want. If lying down makes you more comfortable, meditate that way. Do it that way to sit up. It's kind of like that, just, I believe not. The premise is that after enough practice, you unlock this energy like a serpent lives at the base of your root chakra, near your anus. A coiled energy snake that you can release is described. It's wonderful like that. I swear it is, of course, it's not accurate. It's kind of conveyed to me that way, like what you're doing. It's Kundalini awakening. Sorry, I skipped that portion. Kundalini awakening is the meditation. That's Kundalini awakening meditation is highly significant. Yes, you're waking up your root chakra energy. It 100%. My life is full. I'm sure I've done it less than in recent years, but I'd recommend other people try it. Thank you for watching this video, sharing, listening to my story, and supporting the channel today.